If you're a golfer with back pain, I bet I'm not your first resource. You've probably seen a million infomercials. You've probably YouTube exercises. You've probably Googled every way to solve the problem you can think of. And you're here because it didn't work. And what I'm here to tell you is that the solution is simpler than you think it is. The problem, and what some of you will struggle with, is it's going to take work. So if you want to get better, stick around. I'm going to give you things, and they're going to take work. But if you do them, if you execute them correctly, and if you put in the time, they will either help or eliminate your back pain. You can trust that these things are coming from someone who's a licensed physical therapist, someone who's certified and trained by Titleist Performance Institute to work with and help golfers like you. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, stick around because I promise it's going to help. The first key to golfing without back pain is to consider above and below. And what I mean by that is to consider the joints above and below. Now, I have taught a biomechanics course at the college level, and I still work with a college program. So when you look at the anatomy of the body, you see different things that tell us how to protect the lower back. Right? Most of you can picture what the hip joint looks like, right? It's a ball and it's a socket and it can move all over, right? My hip can move a lot of different directions. It's great at rotating. And when I take a golf swing, the hips should rotate. If they don't, the problem is that shift of stress is going to go to the lower back. You know what doesn't rotate is the lower back. The structure of the joints, they're called facet joints in the lower back. I did another video on this already. I'll link it in the comments. But in the lower back, we have these facet joints. And when we try to rotate from our lower back or our lumbar spine, we compress those joints together. And when we compress those joints together, we create irritation, inflammation, tight muscles, and nothing but problems. So we want to get the hips to rotate because their back does not have to rotate if our hips are. That's especially true if the thoracic spine is helping with it. The thoracic spine also has facet joints, but these facet joints in the upper back are positioned to rotate. It's why you can sit in a chair and turn your shoulders, because we move from this upper back, this thoracic spine, really well into rotation. If we can make sure that our swing is rotating from the hips and from the upper back, then we don't need it from the lower back. If we don't need it from the lower back, we don't put stress there. If we don't put stress there, we don't cause pain, problems, and all the stuff that you're probably dealing with. So get rid of the gimmicks and all the random crap out there about how to fix your back pain and do the work, subscribe to the exercises, and knock them out. You'll be better for it. It will even take probably a week or two. You'll already notice differences. The second key to golfing without back pain is understanding the hinge, right? Some of you have probably been to lessons before where the instructor does something where they have you hold the club, maybe at your belly button, hinge down, drop the club to the ground, whatever it is. Or they might have you put your hands on your thighs, run your hands down your thighs, stop there, and that's where you swing. We call that motion the hinge. So if I want to draw lines in my body, I'm going to draw these lines here. My chest is dropping forward. I'm in a hinged position. It's not a squat. Nobody golfs from a squat position. That's ineffective. Puts a bunch of extra stress on your back, and it's going to make you suck at golf anyway. We have to understand the hinge and how much proper hinge to have. So what I see a lot of golfers make the mistake of is they will set up and they will drop forward. Now, even if I do that, I can feel some stress on my back because I've taken my center of gravity, which was very much over the center of my pelvis. I dropped my shoulders forward. I created leverage on my lower back. It's like any type of bending forward. But if instead I let my butt push back as my chest comes forward, what I'm doing is counterbalancing. I've got my center line here. My hips push back, which would take my center of gravity back, except my chest and shoulders also drop forward. They've exactly evened out with one another, which means I haven't put the excess leverage on the lower back. So make sure you understand the hinge. Drop into position, let the hips move back and you're going to distribute that stress much better on your spine. So if you want to golf without back pain, understand the hinge. The final key to golfing without back pain is to understand weight shift. Not just to shift your weight, but to understand what's happening when we're doing it. So what we want to see in the golf swing is we go into the backswing, the weight shifts onto the trail leg. I start to have my back hip work higher, my left hip work lower, my right knee is straightening, my left knee is bending. To start the downswing, I'll shift into the front side. I would drive through this leg. Now the left hip starts rising, the right hip starts lowering, and I reverse all those things. So we see it in other sports. If I want to throw a ball that way, if I'm a pitcher and I'm trying to throw to that direction, I'm going to first shift back and then I'm going to stroke forward. The problem is, if you don't do that, not only does it cause a slower throw, but it causes more pain. If I get all my weight on the front side and I swing, I've got compression on my lower left back, my left hip. And then as I turn, I stay on that left hip. I spent the entire swing putting all the stress on my left side. It's no wonder that my back started to hurt. We can do the same with the trail side. I can shift back, and if I stay back, I'm putting all the stress and compression on the right side. But if I take a nice clean shift, I switch onto the right, I push into the left, and I get this momentum that allows me to efficiently transfer force without using my spine as a compression leverage point. So if you want to golf without back pain, please understand the weight shift from trail side to lead side and what that does for you. Now, there's a big piece of this that has to do with ground reaction force and how you push into that lead side. I've already done a long, detailed video on that. I'll make it available now on the screen as well as in the comments below. So if you're looking for that, go check it out because I can promise you it's an important aspect of the golf swing. Thanks for hanging out. Before I let you go, what I didn't tell you at the beginning of the video is I dealt with back pain myself. I had it for several years on end. I fell for a lot of those gimmicks. I did a lot of those useless exercises. I didn't get anywhere. But when I committed myself, I got better, and I'm confident if you do that, you'll do the same. I want to help you along the way, so if you have any questions, please comment in the comment section below. Subscribe, check out the next videos, and kind of check out some of those old videos I've already done that I referenced earlier. Thanks.